200 years ago, there were less than 1 billion people on Earth. Since then, the human population has consistently increased at an enormous rate, resulting in still growing 7 billion people population we have today. Since the beginning of the 20th century, our population has grown by 400%. The global population went from 1.5 billion to 6.1 billion humans in less than 100 years. It is estimated by 2100, the population should be about 11.7 billion people.
The growth rate of the human population can be attributed to the fertility rate. In the 60s, the fertility rate was 5 children per woman. This is when we also experienced the highest growth rate ever, at 2% growth rate per year. In today's society, the fertility rate is 2.5 children per woman, and the growth rate is back down to 1%. Fertility rate has a direct effect on the population and the population's growth rate. The more babies born, fertility rate, the higher the growth rate is. Where fertility is high, population growth is high. How does death rate affect human population growth? If people die at a slower rate, then the population will see an increase. If the birth rate goes down and the death rate goes up, the population will decrease. If the death rate goes up and the birth rate goes up, the population will remain the same. Death rate affects the population because if there are too many deaths, the population will decrease, and if there are too little deaths, the population will increase.
China, India, and the U.S. are leading in population, with China being at approximately 1,419,229,058 people. In 2015, China also led in the highest carbon emissions, which is what directly affects global warming. The global impact that we have is based on our population, but also the amount of resources we use and how much we industrialize as a species.
As our global population continuously grows, our world's resources dwindle. The very things we rely on as humans, the atmosphere, oceans, and forests, they're all changing due to our rapid expansion. As the general population is becoming more educated, there is a constant race between starvation and agricultural advancements. As the population continues to grow, it is our responsibility to limit the resources we use. Earth is only so big and it is our future. How will we go about solving this dilemma?